Hello and welcome back to the Cube Counselor. Apologies again, it's been a minute, but wanted to get some content out there. Not an extremely long one today, but I did do some live in-person drafting, fully vaccinated with a friend who's fully vaccinated, the host of this channel, Mr. Haj Gulashi himself, Jim, and I did do a glimpse draft, several, uh, a week or so ago. So just wanted to kind of recap that. It's something hopefully that's going to be returning more often soon. Um, when people are feeling safe and uh, hopefully getting vaccinated. Wear your mask if you need to. Um, the community is still it's a challenge out there. So when you have the ability to do so safely, it's definitely is a fun experience. And we drafted 4 times, 5 times, but the first pack we opened, the pack one, pick one here, and that's really all I want to talk about today is just, what fun I had drafting and playing some cube. List will be in the link below if you want to take a look. 540 unpowered cube. Again, for those maybe it's your first video or we haven't gone over it in a while, we do glimpse draft, which we do 9 packs of 20, and then in between each pick we burn 3 cards. So you're somewhat manipulating what you're passing to somebody. You're not guaranteed to get back, everything that you pass. So there is some head games, some uh, mind games that go into that style of drafting, and it's just a fun way to do it with 2 people. Well, pandemic aside, we do struggle getting a play group together often, so it's a great way for 2 people to draft. I enjoy it, and the other part, the other reason I'd recommend it is you can shuffle up and fly through drafts pretty quickly when you're not waiting for different people who might be at different levels and comfortability with the cards. So hopefully, as you've been looking on as I've been rambling here and wondering, comment, hit me up on Twitter at anti_drummer. What would you pick from this pack? What's drawing you in? Prime time, historically powerful card. Entomb, very powerful card, and you see what so one of the payoffs is here. Court of Bounty is another one. Cheating big dummies into play like this. Gear Hulk. Yeah, I like Sublime Epiphany. Chrome Mox, always a good pick. But the reason I was excited to talk about this pack is I had talked about the addition of a certain card, and you see some new MH2 cards in here. I was very excited to draft one particular card, and I actually made a modern deck around this card, and was just very excited for this card. And that, of course, is the Monkey Pirate himself, Mr. Ragavan. And literally, I opened this pack. I only picked it because it was a Cuba Majig that was darker colored than the others, and it was a Thoughtseize art on the package. If you haven't seen those, Cuba Majigs are an awesome way to prepare your packs for a draft. And I just happened to pick that one up and said, let me take this one it's a little bit darker purple than the other, because often when they do black as a color, they use purple because black doesn't always work. So I just happened to pick that one, and the first card was this awesome extended art Ragavan. I told Jim all week that's what I was coming to draft. So I barely looked at the rest of the pack. I said I kind of have to do it unless there's something insane in here. And that's what I did. So, today's focus briefly is, we've talked about it. There was recently a cube on MTGO, Live the Dream Cube. We talked about in our video about living other people's dreams. Enjoy when other people, can live their dream, can do what they came to do in Cube. But this is what I came to do, so I'm going to take some time just to say I enjoyed. That was just an awesome moment and proof, of course, that we live in the Matrix, that the universe is a simulation. So I wanted also to point that out. But here's what we built with Mr. Ragavan. Definitely didn't pay attention to my signals. I will say I don't actually remember what I picked second, but again, we lived our dream. We came to draft that. We drafted it. Another new card we wanted to play was a Den of the Bugbear that was in there. But this also represents living multiple dreams. I got to live the double Ragavan dream. I don't think I ever did get to attack with it, but I did have both of these on the battlefield at the same time, so that was awesome. Ragavan the token, of course, as you know, is not the same name, so his legendary status does not kill his alternate universe brother here, Ragavan Nimble Pilfer. I don't think I got to attack. I can't remember, but I was really excited to do so. I thought I would be in some sort of aggro red. Yeah, I want to say maybe Dark Confidant was my second pick, and I kind of started thinking I was going to be some sort of Rakdos mid-rangey, as Ragavan. This seems to be playing out in other formats. This cool, mid-rangey card with the dash ability. I think I took the first match down in 5 games, and I think in 5 games I maybe got to connect with him once. Still, that doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. This was about I got to cast him. He got the art I really like, so that was a nice thing too. Yeah, but we did some strange and interesting things, and this was just an amazingly fun deck in general. Got to play some other cards that I haven't got to play. And my other dream in here was I love the card Duretti Ingenious Iconoclast. And then for those who are unfamiliar, Grist the Hunger Tide does very similar to Duretti. You can look them up. And I felt like I had to force that. I got some late green fixing, and it was just like, you know what? I just have to, again, live my dream. It doesn't matter. Hopefully, I'll be able to cast these spells with things like Mox Diamond. But I just wanted to play those so bad that those two together. I said I'm going to jam in whatever I can, and obviously you can see it was a bit of a mess. I probably should have showed my sideboard because I did end up with a lot of lands, so I think that helped. But didn't have much. It was a mismatch, a mishmash of a Grixis and then barely splash for green. Had a great time. Ragavan pretty much died on sight every time he kind of had to. Scarab God was the same, but a lot of fun things that I wanted to do in this deck. Mimic Vat, fun with cards like that, and Snapcaster and Dark Confidant. It was a really fun deck. We did talk for quite a bit afterwards. Duretti did pretty much take over the game every time he came down. Maybe getting a little too powerful for where Jim's Cube is at now, but I had a blast. He's a card I love. Got to play Grist. Didn't have any way to search him up as a creature, which was something I want to do in the future, but could have reanimated him and things like that. But yeah, I had a great time. I'll go through some other quick pick ones with you as well, because we did draft a few times, and then we see some of the same picks here. We get Scarab God, some of the other ones we had here. And yeah, what would you pick from this pack? What's jumping out to you? It's funny too because part of again what I want to talk about live your own dreams. When you sit down and you see a card that jumps out to you, um, there is no right and wrong. I think we argue about that a lot in the cube community, and certainly if you want to increase your win percentage, if that is your only goal, there's probably certain cards that can do that in any pack. Fiery Confluence. Um, it's probably going to jump out. I don't know, maybe the duels as the most powerful in this pack. But I went with Blood Artist. I love that strategy in this particular cube. I know that it's very supported and very good, and there's some backup Blood Artists and Zulaport Cutthroat and some other things that can really abuse that kind of strategy. And Blood Artist is just such a busted card. It really just the trading of life with your opponent's swings. It just messes up combat math and all kinds of things for your opponent, and that ended up being really good here. Got a really good aristocrats style deck, and yeah, so that's what I went with. But don't know. Again, you want to say in the comments. I'd appreciate the feedback. We have, I think, at least one more. And I'll let you look over it again. But yeah, again, those are things I like to do. I ended up, I think, Rakdos in this. I want to say I got to ready in the second draft too, which was pretty painful for my opponent, Jim. Yeah, again, kind of put Duretti under the spotlight and how powerful of a 3-mana planeswalker he is in this type of environment. But I think with this one, I think I know where I went. I love Sylvan Library, Tropical Island, great duel to start with, Volcanic Island. What are some other interesting things? Prophet of Kruphix, awesome card. Love that card. I think it got played against me. Yeah, and untapping all your creatures and lands. I always forget the creatures part. That it's not just a Seedborn Muse. That it's pretty darn good. And casting them at flash, casting creatures as though they had flash, also good. Mother and Ruins, great. 1-drop. Hero Blade Hold, amazing way to start an aggro white deck. So those are the ones that kind of jump out. But I think I went with Zealous Conscripts. I was red focused. I think the whole Ragavan thing just kind of burned into my mind. I did not, with the exception of Grist, I don't think I played any green cards. So that was something I needed to point out as well. Sometimes an old dog can learn new tricks. I'm very green focused. I talk about it a lot on this channel. Green is definitely the color that gets me the most excited in Magic these days, and does everything that I want to do in Magic, particularly in this cube. There's a lot to build around, but I was just very red focused. I don't think I really got there. I was thinking, I was going to get some sort of combo or something with Zealous Conscripts, and don't feel like I got there with it. And I don't even remember if I played Zealous Conscripts. I should have taken pictures of the second and third deck, but yeah. So then we have another pick here. Again, the ones that jump out to me, maybe the same to you. Chandra, very good. Baleful Strix, an amazingly overpowered card. Just so good, especially in Cube, but in many, many formats that it's been in. This card's super fun in an aggro red deck if you haven't played it. I can't see all of its abilities here, but it has a bunch of abilities, and it's just a really fun card. Elesh Norn, good reanimation target. This is Dreadbore, for those who don't know. But I think I went with an old standby one that I always probably overvalue, maybe just because of the sweet art, but that's Reanimate. Yeah, so let me know. Again, these were the four. Was there a fifth? No. Oops. Yeah, those were the four drafts that we did. We may have fired off another one real quick and I forgot, but yeah, those were the four drafts. Those were the four pack one pick ones. Yeah, and had just a great time drafting in person. I'm just feeling really fortunate. This has been a challenging year as far as socializing. I have a pretty close knit friend group. A few of us who've been fortunate enough to be friends since junior high school. And we can't really see anybody, so well, we can, but you try to limit it. Even though everybody's vaccinated, you don't want to be reckless with these kind of things. And work and other things still going on, but felt very fortunate to be able to go spend a whole day drafting with a close friend. Had a great time. Not to do the sick rub-ins, but won a lot of games, so that also felt good. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying this cube. Might be able to get to draft it with a pod of people in the future. We'll see how things go, and that will be a different experience. I think the most I've drafted with this is 4 or 6, maybe 6. But yeah, really looking forward to drafting with a full pod. See how that goes. A lot of fun things in Jim's cube, and hopefully, for those of you who aren't able to get out, maybe you're finding ways to draft on MTGO. Whatever strategy or whatever way you're drafting, I hope that you're living your dream. I talked about mine at the beginning. If your dream is to draft, pirate monkeys, I hope that you can live your dream. Yeah, I just wanted to share my recent draft with everybody. I hope you're staying safe out there. Now more than ever, I think we get better together. rings true, especially in the Magic community. Let's, if you choose and you're feeling safe, wear your mask, make your opponents, feel comfortable. If you're going out to the shop, uh, get your vaccine if you're able to. Talk with your physicians, make sure it's safe for you. Get your, vaccines. Let's help get things under the control. Get things under control in our community so that we can have, these connections again, which are so important in Magic. There's always talk about paper Magic dying. I just don't think it will ever be the case because I think such a huge part of Magic, as they always say, is the gathering, is the social aspect of it. So until we can, do things safely. Find a way, draft online, find Discord groups, to draft with. There's Xmage, Cockatrice. I've seen people draft on MTGO, or draft off and then play on MTGO as we've done before. But yeah, just wanted to share. I got to live my dream. I got multiple Ragavan or Ragavand creating cards, and Grist and Duretti. That was just a good time. It's a deck that I'll definitely remember for a while. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care.